If you have a newer Rheem gas hot water heater and you can't get your pilot to stay on no matter what you do, resulting in no hot water, there's a few likely culprits and we're going to go through them right now. Now this issue is for a blown TRD and you can skip ahead to that part, but watch the entire video for the other things that could cause this problem and how to fix them. If your pilot is out, the first thing you want to do is try to relight it. Using the instructions on the side of your unit, get that pilot to turn back on if you can. And you can see here that it does turn on, but it's very weak and it barely stays on. And when it does stay on and it calls for heat, the burners turn on and they turn off right away. That's indicative of not enough oxygen being in there to keep that lit, or perhaps the thermocouple not working properly. There are other possibilities like the gas valve itself not working properly, but that's usually the last thing that goes. So we're going to start by pulling this entire burner assembly out, inspecting it, and cleaning that thermocouple. First, we'll start by turning the gas off, both at the valve here itself and up top where it feeds in. You have 4 connections. You have the gas tube for your pilot, your main gas tube, your connection for your thermocouple, and the wire for your igniter. Using a small adjustable wrench, I'm going to start with taking off the thermocouple connection. Now I'm going to take this one off first because I do want to test something here before I remove this entire assembly. And that's checking the millivolts. This should be a range. And Rheem says anywhere between 20 and 30. On support, they'll tell you even down to 10 is good. But basically, when that heats up, it creates electricity. It creates a small amount of electricity. The valve will see that and it lets it operate properly. If it doesn't see it or if it sees too much, if it's out of range, it shuts down. So with the pilot on, I'm here getting about 13, 14 millivolts. That's kind of low, but it's indicative of a weak flame, so I'm not counting out the thermocouple right now. If it was 0, you know right off the bat you'd have a problem with that. Continue by disconnecting the gas tube for your pilot and the main gas tube. Then disconnect the wire for your igniter. It's just a simple barrel push-on connector. With that done, remove the 4 screws that hold the burner in place. They are Torx size 20 head screws. These units are sealed with a gasket, so I find easiest to take a small pry tool, get it up top, and just pry it away from the body, the inner body of the water heater. If you look up top, there's a little tab specifically made for that. You'll likely have to pry in both directions, but once you break it free, this entire assembly should come out quite easily. Now you want to inspect the inside of your water heater, and if you see something like this, you know right off the bat that TRD has popped. Now I will come back and clean off this burner assembly because a dirty thermocouple could lead to this same issue, and it could have contributed to the TRD blowing. But for now, we're going to focus on this TRD, and what that is, it's a thermal release device. It's a protection device. It's a glass ampoule. It's filled with fluid similar to a sprinkler head, and when it reaches a certain temperature, it will explode. And when that happens, a small plunger is allowed to push upward, closing a damper that starves the oxygen from that fire, not letting it work. And it's designed to protect you from catching on fire. And there's a few reasons why that happens. The underlying issue you do need to address, because whatever that is could contribute to a fire. Now this actually comes in and out very easily. It pushes straight down, it twists, and come back out. And you see here, taking it out, it's a breeze because there's nothing pushing up. That plunger's not pushing up on the ampoule. The new one's going to have to be put in with a little bit more force. I'll put a link to this below. It's from Amazon. It came overnight, and it's something you could use just to get you by. But you do want to use the appropriate Rheem device for your model. And I'll put a link to that one below as well. Before installing, get in there with a small vacuum and clean up as much as you can. The way this works, there's a hole at the bottom here. The plunger fits into that hole. You'll want to push that plunger down, twist it, and lock it into place. Whenever you remove a burner assembly on these models, you should put in a new gasket. I have one on the way, but for now, I'm just going to take a wet rag and clean it off the best I can so that I can get this thing back up and running. With that done, I'm going to turn my attention back to this burner assembly because a dirty thermocoupler is one of the main reasons why you have a pilot light that turns off. So what happens is it gets full of soot. After a while, it's not producing the correct millivolts, and then the valve's going to turn off. So one of the things you could do is get an emery cloth or fine sandpaper. You don't want to go too hard, but you want to just clean off all the soot that's on the thermocouple. You can also clean off the tip of the igniter, and I'm going to do that very carefully here. Clean off the top with the rag. Make sure all these little vents are clear. You can even use a small screwdriver to scrape some of that stuff away. If you have access to compressed air, go ahead and blow off the whole thing. And if you can, try to get some compressed air in through the tubes where the gas usually flows. Just in case there's any little bits in there, you can blow those out. With that cleaned off, we can come back and carefully reassemble. Now, at the very end of this assembly, there's a little piece of this, almost like a step. And that's going to fit down into a slot just underneath that TRD. It's not difficult. You can feel it, and it'll slip right in. Once you get that seated, reattach your 4 Torx head screws. Come up and reconnect your fittings for your gas valve. You want to use caution not to mar up the very ends, the flanged tips of these two tubes. And you don't want to use too much force. You don't want to over tighten this. Just get them nice and snug. Come up and push together the barrel connector for your igniter, and then make sure you slide that insulation up over it. With that squared away, go ahead and turn on your main gas feed and turn on the gas valve. Follow the instructions for lighting the pilot. You'll see here in my case, the pilot goes on and it's nice and strong. It's more than double the size of the pilot that we saw before. And it stays on easily. And when it calls for heat, you see that the burners stay lit, nice and blue. This is going to work well. Now, I should add that whenever you do work on any kind of gas appliance, there's always that inherent danger. And you're doing all this at your own risk. In fact, Rheem will tell you that TRD should or needs to be installed by a licensed plumber. So if you're going to tackle your own stuff, please take all those precautions and find the underlying issue. The main issues why these things blow is either blocked air intake, blocked vent, or some other combustible in there that's going to cause this thing to rupture. So make all your checks after you fix this. In my case here, I wanted to make sure I had good venting. And you can see here that a flame that wants to go upright, once this heater is on and running and warmed up, the flame going next to the vent, you'll see the vent wants to suck it in. Now you know you have good venting. The other issue is you want to make sure you have nothing combustible in the area. If there's any, or if you're doing work in the area, if there's anything combustible, anything in the air that gets into there, the flame will burn differently, burn hotter, that ampule will break. So you want to make sure you have things clear, and if you're doing any work, you make sure you ventilate the area. And lastly, keep things from piling up next to the water heater. Things that are covering up these intake vents are not going to let enough air get in there, and that's going to change things. And also, vacuum it periodically. Make sure no dust or anything gets in there. You get all that done, and you should be good. I like making these videos to show how easy it is to do some of these things on your own, and of course you save a ton of money while doing it. I'll put links to tools or items I've used below, and if you use my links, I will earn a whole 17 cents.